Hey everyone, I just wanted to take a moment and go over the answers for the two questions that were at the end of the last video. If you remember, the first one was, following the MUGA scan, the physician documents that patient has developed congestive heart failure as an adverse effect of the trastuzumab that she has received as a treatment for her breast cancer in the right breast. The trastuzumab is the anti-neoplastic antibiotic therapy that is being discontinued while he attempts to manage the heart failure pharmaceutically. Code the patient's condition. So, if you'll remember, we need to start with her principal diagnosis, which is what brought her in. Why is she here? And it appears that she's here because of heart failure that is a result from an adverse effect of the trastuzumab that she was taking. So to start with, we need to code the heart failure. Pretending that I don't know where we're going, I guess some of you might start with heart, or some people might even try to start with congestive. We're actually going to start with failure. So see right here where failure begins. And if you'll pay attention, you see these gray lines are going to kind of help be your guide so that you know where you're indenting, where you're at. So for instance, you see aortic rheumatic. So that rheumatic is nestled underneath, or nested underneath aortic. It is not related to attempted abortion. Same thing with the biventricular due to left heart failure. That is nestled under there. Bone would be the next. So all of the ones on this line are all in the same area underneath failure. So from there, we are going to go over, we're going to act like we went down from cardiac, we'll go all the way down to heart. See heart here? Some people use a ruler. So you can follow it down, you can see exactly what is lined up with it, where you exactly are. So then what we're going to do is we'll go down to congestive. Now we know this is congestive heart failure because we're underneath the category of the heart. So we're going to go with that I 50.9. The reason why we're going to go with the 50.9 and not go deeper is because we were not given any additional information. So remember, although you want to code to the greatest specificity, you can only code what you know. So if you weren't given the information, you cannot code the information. So that is going to be our first code, but we never do what? We never code from the index. So what are we going to do? We're going to flip to I 50.9 in our tabular. I have tabbed my book up as the video that I posted. 50.9. Okay. So that leaves us up here. If I can zoom in a bit. Alright, that is your heart failure unspecified. You'll see congestive heart disease, congestive heart failure not otherwise specified. So we're going to go here. Another thing you want to do once you find your code, make sure it does not have an indicator stating that you need an additional digit, kind of like you see here. I'm going to give you another little juicy nugget. Anytime you see anything that's off to the side, you'll see those. Look at the bottom of your code book on the page, and you're actually going to see a legend that's going to tell you what each one of those means. Now that we have that coded, we're still not completely done in terms of checking over everything. So the other thing you want to do once you find your code is you're going to go to the top of that category. So see, we're in category I-50. Okay, so you're going to go to the beginning of it, which is over here on this page. See 50 heart failure. And you just want to make sure that none of these code first notes apply. If they do apply, you're going to have to make sure that you code this, what it's telling you here first, and that helps you with your arranging your codes. But right now, we know what brought her in was that congestive heart failure unspecified, so we're going to make sure that I-50.9 is our first code. Alright, the next thing that we are going to code is going to be the adverse effect, because that's, after all, what's caused it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our book. So you look up adverse effect, if I can get you in here. And then it says, see table of drugs and chemicals, category T36 to T50, with sixth character 5. So what we're going to do is go to our drug table of drugs and chemicals, okay? What many have done is you'll look for the drug then, trastuzumab. If you look for trastuzumab, see if I can find it. Let's see. It should be right up in this area. We don't see that here, right? Let me see if I can zoom in for you guys. It is not there. And what we do when you don't see it is we were given that breadcrumb at the bottom. Remember the anti-neoplastic antibiotic? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look up the anti-neoplastic, excuse me. Now, right here, you will see where it says anti-neoplastic, not elsewhere classified. All right? We don't need that first one listed, so let's go to the top of the next one. So here we have anti-neoplastic antibiotic. So that's what we're going to use. I am going to use my handy dandy ruler. This is why we recommend them, so that you can easily see your codes, okay? Now we're going to go down to that adverse effect, because that's what the issue was. So we're going to go to T45.1x5. Now remember, we do not code from the index, so we need to go look that up. 1x5. So right here is our code. Adverse effect of anti-neoplastic and immunosuppressive drug. Now, can we code that like it is? According to that little red box that says 7th digit, we cannot. We need an additional code. Now, this code is going to come whenever you see that 7th code. Look at the beginning of the category and see if you can find this nifty little box. It says appropriate 7th character is to be added to each code from category T45. So we're going to select one of these. She's never had this reaction before, so it's not going to be a subsequent encounter. So we're not doing this for the second time. And it's not a sequela, which is a latent effect. Latent effect would be if she stopped taking the medication and then developed the reaction after she discontinued. This is going to be an initial encounter. So our correct code for this issue is going to be that T45.1x5A. That is going to be the adverse effect. Now finally, what we need to code next is, why is she taking these? She's taking it for a neoplasm. So we're going to have to code that malignancy that is of the right breast, because right now it's in active treatment. So we need to code it as if it's there. So since we know it is a neoplasm, it is a cancer, we can go ahead and start at our neoplasm. Okay? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to neoplastic. Well, neoplastic. If you look at the top of every category in the table of neoplasms, you will see this. Neoplastic. So we're going to assume that's where we're at. Alright, and right now this is in bile. So we need to go ahead and find breast. So I come down over here and I find breast. There we go. Breast, connective tissue, glandular, and then soft parts. Okay. So we don't necessarily have any specific information within it, like if it's the areola. So we're going to go ahead and go to that C50.9. The reason why we're going through this particular column is if you go up to the top, you see where it says malignant primary. This is where the cancer originated. So we're going to go look at that C50.9. Alright. So as you can see, C50 is malignant neoplasms of the breast. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and go over till we get to this C50.9 category. Now, do we have any more additional information that we can use? We do. We know that it's a female breast. Okay, and then what else do we know? We know that it's the right breast. So then we come on down to our code 50.911. Sorry. So that's going to end up being our code because we don't need an additional digit. And we didn't have any additional notes that would apply to us at the beginning of the category. So that ends up becoming our final code for this. So you should have 3 codes. Your first one is for the congestive heart failure. That is I50.9. Your second code is T45.1X5A. And your third code is your C50.911, which is our malignant neoplasm of a right female breast. Alright, I am going to go ahead and end this video here, and I will make a separate video for the other one just for timing reasons.